Welcome to the Dukedom. Is it the Dukedom? I don't know. It was the Dukedom. It started off with this idea of being the Dukedom, because I am the Duke, or just Duke. But in the end, I think I'm going to scrap that. But whatever, today I'm going to talk about the Galaxy S3 Frontier. Now, I've been rocking this thing. Wow, just told me a delay on a train. Now, I've been rocking this thing for about 6 months. And I've been very remiss in trying to make a video about it. I absolutely love the device. I do have some small quibbles with it. It's not perfect. But here's a comprehensive look at the Galaxy S3 or Galaxy Gear S3 Frontier Edition. Wow, Samsung, you gotta do something about the naming. One of the things I love about this watch is its autonomy. When I was on AT&T, I could use it completely without my phone. It plays phone calls, it has an LTE radio, and it works pretty well. Is it weird to talk on your wristwatch? Yes. At first, it's really cool if you're a geek like me and probably you. You feel like you're James Bond, right? You're Mission Impossible. You're walking around like, shh. But in practice, after the novelty of it wears off, it's not that great for call quality. It's not terrible, and it does do the job, and it's good for quick little conversations when you're not going to try to have like a lengthy discourse on the nature of time and what it means to be alive, right? But if someone's calling you like, hey, like if my girlfriend's saying, hey, I need to let into the garage, can you come around? Perfect for that kind of stuff. As it stands now, I'm on Verizon, which I hate Verizon. They're scam artists. Do not use Verizon. I'm going to do a whole video on they are the biggest crooks in mobile. They promise you all kinds of stuff to get you in the door and get you in their house. And then when you're in their house, they lock the door and they give you half of what they promised. And they're liars, and they're just, I could go on and on and on, and I will in a separate video. Regardless, I'm on Verizon now, and I'm using this. I can still use the Bluetooth capability to pair with my phone, so I can still talk through it, but I do have to have the phone. So the autonomy of it is no longer quite there. But I can still load music to it, which, to be honest, is not easy. I feel like Samsung's like loading of apps and kind of like side loading and making things work together is not their best feature. They have too many things that their devices are capable of, and in the end they kind of just cancel each other out as far as ease of use. Like, for example, if you've ever tried to use the Samsung VR, totally cool device, really fun, completely unintuitive, especially when you compare it to something like Google's Daydream, where you literally just turn your phone on, put it on, close it, it works. Easy. Samsung, not so much. Same kind of thing with the watch. It's not terrible, but its implementation could be better. Getting music onto it took me a long time. Once I did get the music on it, though, it made running really easy because it pairs Bluetooth with your wireless Bluetooth headphones, and really enjoy that aspect of it. The other thing that I really like is Samsung Health, formerly S Health, whatever. It's not the best fitness app by any means. It can do a lot. It has so much to offer, and the social aspect of it I enjoy. You know, I'm a member of Strava, so I love that. That's kind of like a social network for runners. You know, Runkeeper, the same type of thing. You know, but those are kind of very limited in what they do. They're good at what they do, but they're stuck only in their bailiwick. Whereas S Health is like, or Samsung Health, you know, it can do whatever you want to do. Like if you're a bunch of rock climbers, you can keep track of that. Kind of crazy. I mean, I don't notice that it does a good job of tracking my rock climbing, but it's there. And the more people you know that have one, the better it is, of course, like any social media. But it is there and it is nice. And I think that it's one of those things that, you know, if you have a bunch of friends on it, then it's a super valuable aspect to it. And aside from that, this uses Tizen. And the Tizen OS, as far as wearables go, is hands down the best. It doesn't quite do everything that Android Wear does. Like Maps, oh man, really like Maps. Even though Maps is like kind of wonky and slow, and it is getting better, but it's kind of reminds me, the Maps on Android Wear right now reminds me of their very first iteration 5-6 years ago when you would try to use like turn-by-turn navigation, and it just kind of was too slow, couldn't keep up with you in the car, you know, wasn't wasn't on the Garmin level, right, or the TomToms. I feel like that's where the Android Wear is right now. This doesn't even have it, doesn't even work. You can't use navigation on it. But what it does do, it does seamlessly, flawlessly every time. Anytime I turn this bezel, it works. Anytime I tap anything, it works. I have not had one issue. And I typically have a lot of gremlins in my technology to where I always have something kind of mess up. Not so with the Galaxy Gear. Here, I'll say it right once, I promise. But anyway, what's cool is the things it does do does really well. There's not a lot of third-party development, unfortunately. Not like there's a lot of third-party things that you can do with wearables to begin with, and they're kind of like up and down. Is like, is it going to last? Is it a fad? Are they going to go the way of the tablets where they're still there, but they're not really a focus? You get one, you use it for a few years. I don't know. One of the other standout features of this is it's one of the first ones that's waterproof. There's several devices now that are waterproof. But this one, I gotta hand it to them. It lasts very long on a charge so that I can get sleep data. Because for me, what I really like about these wearables is just the data it's collecting. And yes, again, this is probably going to companies and they're using it to analyze me and try to advertise specifically to me. I got thoughts on that, are good and bad. But for myself, I like to have the data. And this gives me a lot of data. It gives me sleep data, it gives me my step data, it gives me my heart rate, and I can wear it all the time. I take it off when I'm working and I can charge it for an hour or two and I'm back up to 100%. I will say that I wish it had a more traditional charger. I don't want to have to spend another $45 on another charger, although I should, because the problem that I would find that I'd run into, I'd be at work, I would charge it, or I'd forget to charge it, and I'd forget to bring the device home over the weekend. Not this device, but the charging device. Because of the way the pogo pins work, it's like you can only charge it with the Samsung proprietary piece. Kind of lame. Because what'll happen is if you leave it, forget it somewhere, then you're ass out. It doesn't work, and then you just have a lump of metal on your wrist. It doesn't even tell you the time. And that's shitty. Mainly because you lose the data, and I hate losing the data. Because when I have it, I love looking at it and analyzing it. Like, for example, right now it is 10:40 on a Thursday. I have been up for quite a while. I've burned 1,248 calories, climbed 11 floors. I've worked out for 54 minutes, and I've taken 9,473 steps. Think about it. I click on it. I can use the bezel. That is the most intuitive thing about this. Sometimes your hands are greasy, sometimes they're gross, sometimes you just don't want to touch the screen. And being able to use the bezel is nice. You still have to click things, but I don't know. I find it very intuitive. It's pretty amazing. I take this on swims. That's the thing that really kind of bugs me about it. It doesn't integrate with Strava, which really sucks because I love that running app. It integrates with Runkeeper, but it just doesn't do it as well. It's nice to get your heart rate data, and that's what stinks. I can't get my heart rate from running in Strava, the app I prefer. And the running app of Samsung's S Health, like I said, it's okay, but it's not a dedicated running app. It's more of an inclusive thing on your whole data, which I enjoy and love and appreciate, but I also love third-party integration. It does it with Runkeeper. It doesn't do it with Strava. I don't know why. I think that's annoying. Because honestly, it's making me look towards another option like the Garmin watch just so I can have that because I really do enjoy it. Regardless, I do get all of that data and I get my messages. Allo doesn't work on here for whatever reason. It says it will. It got like 2 messages and now it won't come. You can reply on text. You can use voice. Every once in a while, just like Google Home and just like Alexa, it randomly thinks you're talking to it. More so than those, though. And it'll try to talk to you. Really annoying. And what really stinks, though, what really upsets me about the full capability, besides its not integrating with some of my other ones, especially Strava, because if you want to do a triathlon, you would really like to have your swim data because it can do your cycling and do your running. It doesn't recognize swimming, and it's waterproof. What is up with that? It has a row machine exercise. It doesn't have jump rope though. It's just the things that it has and things that it doesn't have. Like you have rock climbing as a recognized form of exercise that this can track, which I don't know how you would do that. Which I don't know how you would have that and not have jump rope. Like, I find that to be extremely weird. So it's not perfect, but it is my favorite. Because I've used the LG Watcher Bane, I've used the Withings Activite Pop, which I love that device, by the way. Simple, clean, but it's just a minimal type of wearable. This is the full Monty, and I gotta say, I love it. It works well with my Google Pixel. It works even better with a Samsung device, but it still works with Android. Honestly, it's my favorite wearable by far that I've used. It has a few quirks, but it's rugged, it's tough. I take this thing rock climbing and bash it up and beat it up. I've got my hand jammed into cracks, I'm scaling mountains, and it's been through it, and it's lasted, and it's survived, and it's amazing. I gotta say, my favorite one so far. So that's my review of the Samsung Galaxy Gear S3 Frontier. Nailed it that time. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.